A real day, one step at a time. Getting up and starting the day. Antonio Silva is a normal man. He lives alone in a small apartment. His life is simple, but busy. Every morning, Antonio gets up at 6 o'clock. The alarms, the alarm rings, and for a moment he wants to stay in bed. But he knows he needs to work. He sits up slowly, stretches his arms, and stands up. The day has started. He goes to the bathroom, washes his face, and looks at himself in the mirror. He feels a little tired, but he does not give up. After that, he goes to the kitchen. He makes coffee and bread. Before eating, he cleans up the table. Antonio likes things organized. When everything is cleaned up, he feels better. He eats up his breakfast because he does not want to waste food. He drinks up his coffee and checks the time. Time is up, he says quietly. It is time to leave. Leaving home, movement, and change. Antonio picks up his backpack and his keys. He puts on his jacket and goes outside. On the street, the city is waking up. People are walking fast. Cars are stopping and starting. Antonio walks up to the bus stop. While he while he waits, he checks his phone for an update from work. There is a message from his boss. The boss wants to set up a meeting later in the day. Antonio reads the message and takes a deep breath. He feels nervous, but he does not give up. The bus arrives. Antonio gets up from the bench and gets on. At work, responsibility and effort. Antonio works in a small company. His job is not easy, but it is honest. When he arrives, he turns on his computer and opens up his notebook. He writes his tasks for the day. First, he needs to clean up some old files. They are messy and confusing. After cleaning up the files, he starts a new task. Step by step, he works calmly. Around 10 o'clock, his coworker walks up to him. Can you help me? She asks. Antonio looks up from his computer and smiles. Yes, of course. They work together and finish the task. When the task is done, Antonio feels lighter. The meeting, pressure, and decisions. At 11 o'clock, it's time for the meeting. The boss sets up the room and asks everyone to sit down. Antonio sits up straight and listens carefully. The boss talks about problems and solutions. Some prices are going up. Some projects are not finished. Antonio feels pressure. For a moment, he thinks about giving up. But then he remembers why he started. He wants to grow. He wants to improve. When the boss asks for ideas, Antonio speaks up. His voice is calm, but confident. The boss listens and nods. That is a good idea, the boss says. Antonio feels proud. He did not give up. Lunchtime, rest and simple joy. After the meeting, it is lunchtime. Antonio goes to a small restaurant near work. He sits down and looks at the menu. Food prices have gone up, but it, but he chooses a simple meal. When the food arrives, he eats up everything. He is hungry after a long morning. He drinks up a glass of water and relaxes for a few minutes. A friend walks up to his table. Can I sit here? The friend asks. Sure, Antonio says. They talk about life, work, and plans. They laugh and forget about stress for a moment. Afternoon focus and completion. Back at work, Antonio feels tired, but confused, but focused. He looks up some information online. He needs to finish a report before the end of the day. Little by little, he completes each part. He does not rush. He does not give up. At 4 o'clock, he checks his progress. Almost everything is done. He cleans up his desk and sends the final file. The task is finished. Antonio smiles. He feels good when things are done up properly. Going home, reflection. At the end of the day, Antonio packs up his things and leaves work. On the bus ride home, he looks up at the sky. The day is almost over. He thinks about his life. It is not perfect, but it's real. When he arrives home, he walks up the stairs slowly. He opens the door and goes inside. Evening, calm and care. At home, Antonio cleans up the kitchen. He prepares a simple dinner. While cooking, he listens to music. The sound lifts him up. After dinner, he washes up the dishes and sits on the couch. He checks his phone one last time for updates. There is no bad news. Antonio is not upset. He takes a shower, puts on comfortable clothes, and lies down. Before sleeping, he thinks about the day. He woke up. He worked up. He worked. Sorry. He did not give up. That it's enough for today. Final reflection. Antonio Silva's day was normal. Nothing special. Nothing dramatic. But up was everywhere. He got up. He cleaned up. He picked up. He spoke up. He did not give up. And tomorrow, Antonio will wake up and begin again. Thank you for listening this story. It was a short story about up and your collocations in phrases, in contexts, and in the ending sentences. I hope you I hope to see you in the next story. See you again. Bye bye.